Estás escuchando DeLoco Podcast.
You ready to go? Yeah, so, but yeah, man, I get you on that. Like, I know right now we haven't, I mean, just to be very honest with you, like very, very, very frank, I just finished having this conversation with the last gentleman I had, and then I had some two Christian artists, rappers.
I saw that
as well. Yeah. That we were just talking about this is that what's happening right now in the day and time, but I mean, it's gonna happen, right? The times that we're living in, we've talked about. I've even said it before. Is for me, is we're living in days of Noah, right? If you don't know the days of Noah, God sent him out to build an ark. He said, I'm going to put a flood. There's so much sin within this world right now. There's going to be a flood. Do your job, build the ark, and tell people to turn away from their evil ways, for them to come to me. And he was telling people, God's going to come. He's going to put a flood for many years, and people would laugh at him. He got all the animals on the boat. It ended up being God did flood. Yeah. And many people died. Right now we're living in that time right now, right? Where there's a lot of sin. And that's why I say, I don't want people to have a misconception of, we're all sinners. Yeah. We're all 100%. Sinners saved by grace. So everybody's at a different point in their lives and in their spiritual walk. Mm-hmm. And I understand exactly what you're saying as to feeling that you're judged, feeling like, oh man, there's that old saying like, man, I can't go to church because I'm going to burn up as soon as I walk in, or there's going to be smoke coming off of me. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who say that, right? But
I've said that before, honestly.
And the thing is that there's a lot of us that you see smoke coming off of because we don't walk perfectly, right? No. God wants you to, he doesn't want you to walk perfectly. What he wants is he wants you to surrender your entire heart to him, for you to take the time to actually seek after him, mm-hmm. for you to place those physical and fleshly desires, and don't idolize them. If you follow him first, that's why I tell everybody. My abuelito used to always say, my abuelito used to be a pastor for many years, and he would always say, Dios primero y lo demás viene.
And that's true.
And it's the truth, because you place God first, and whatever you want and whatever you desire, it'll come. Only if God allows it.
Yeah, and that's his plan at the end of the day.
Exactly, right? That's his plan. Yeah. That's his plan. And that's why I tell people is that we can have our plans all day long. We can have our agendas. Mm-hmm. And that's why God says, you lay your burdens, lay everything at my feet. You follow me, seek me first, put me first, place me first, mm-hmm. and I'll help you out. It could be in anything, purchasing a house, purchasing a car, whatever it may be. Like, hey, God, help me out. Like, do I need to do this right now, or do I need to wait? Or believe me, he'll send you signs. Like, he does. You know what I mean?
Well, funny enough that you bring up that topic, because that's actually how the name Fear of Faith came to be. Was I was at church one Sunday. I didn't end up liking the church, and I ended up leaving, right? But it was a beautiful sermon where he was speaking about God's plan and having faith within God's plan, or fearing it and kind of walking against it, right? And although the brand message isn't necessarily religious based, it came from church, because I was like, wow, that's something that we do deal with every day. Everybody does, right? Yeah. It's faith within yourself, or, God, or fear with everything that is happening in your life, the negativities, the doubts, etc. Yeah. So it's funny that you say that, because that's actually how the name came to, that's how it came to me, at least.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was trying to find something, I wanted to find a positive message to give to the youth, the world, and people just going through hard times, right? Mm-hmm. And a name that was going to highlight using the obstacles that you go through as fuel to achieve greatness and happiness. So I was like, Fear of Faith, man. Yeah. There it is. And it came from, and like you said, God sends you signs. He sent me a sign that day in church. Yeah. And several others along the way too.
And he will, man. He'll speak to you in different ways, in different aspects of your life.
He definitely
that
does.
Maybe you've been asking for. And I think that's a lot of people too. They kind of steer away from God because they want an answer right now, and sometimes the answer is not right now. It's like, no, still be faithful, still continue to pray to me. Like I'm finding the obstacles and finding the right route.
Yes,
that's the way you have to understand it. Like don't think like, oh, he can't hear me, or he's not gonna listen to me, or he's not gonna give it to me. No. Here's the thing. He's finding out. Just think of him as Google Maps, right? He's going to make sure you're not going to hit some traffic, which are some bumpy roads.
Yeah.
Which we all go through bumpy roads, right?
100%.
And sometimes he allows us to go through those bumpy roads to test your faith.
Would there even lessons?
Yeah, lessons too, man.
Yeah, because mentally sometimes we're not prepared for what he is giving us or what he is trying to lead us towards, right?
Yeah.
Because in reality, we have to grow up, right? We start off as children, and we're kind of just thrown into this world trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes our parents or the people that do raise us don't know those answers either. For example, my parents didn't know the answers to everything.
Yeah.
Right? They were great in certain aspects, but they had their faults as well.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, every obstacle that you go through is a lesson. It's not anything for you to beat yourself up upon.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not. It really isn't.
And I tell my friends that all the time because it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard, man. Life's hard. It's not easy, man. It's not easy, bro.
But it's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Earth is a beautiful creation that God created for us.
I agree.
But there's a better place, a better, more beautiful place that he says that, the roads are paved in gold. So which I want to find out. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that we should all strive for, is to meet him face to face one day.
Yeah.
Because it's bound to happen, right? I know some people think it's a fairy tale and whatnot, but God's not a fairy tale. He's as real as it can get.
Like that Scientology stuff, not to, spit in their face metaphorically, but come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, how I don't understand.
Yeah.
I really don't. Like,
it's like if they were to say wheat tortillas are better than regular maize tortillas. Come on, big dog. That's a lie from Satan himself, bro. Big doggy.
No, that is a lie. That is a lie.
That's a lie, man. So, well, welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is episode number 61. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Today we have someone special. We'll get into that real quick. You guys can listen to DeLoco podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, Spotify, and you can head on over to YouTube. Please subscribe, hit the campanita, and make sure that you subscribe to DeLoco podcast. As I always say, El Papi Chulazo is on there that the Lord has blessed. The Lord said He'll giveth, and He gaveth. Okay, so we'll say He gaveth, right? We'll say He gaveth. But we're here today, Arman, ¿verdad?
Yes,
Arman. And you're locally here in San Antonio, correct?
I'm actually in Austin.
In Austin, Texas. And he's got some stuff coming up right now. You just heard him right now. Faith or fear?
Fear
or faith, right? And, us that walk in the faith, it is faith over fear, which right now we're going to get into. So, Arman, I know you messaged me back. It's been 3 weeks that you messaged me out, and you said you liked what I was doing and you wanted to be a part of it, and I saw what you're about. I saw that, and I said, okay, perfect. Let's find out more about Arman, Mr. Arman here.
Yes, sir.
And, how did you even start? Where did you originate from? I like for everybody to find out where you came from, and I know right now we got into how you came up with the brand name.
Yeah.
You were in church, and it ended up coming into, God gave you that idea of what to call the brand.
Yeah.
But how did this all start for you?
So, just to give a little bit of background, I'm actually born and raised Laredo, Texas. Puro 956.
There you go.
Represent
always. 956, baby.
I love that noise, man. So born and raised. My mom is from Mexico and my dad's from Iran.
Really?
Yeah, but so it's Arman Khaledi.
Arman Khaledi?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because so my dad wanted to name me Muhammad, and my mom was like, there's no way that my son is going to be raised in Laredo and be named Muhammad. He's going to be made fun of, so let's find a middle ground.
A middle ground, yeah.
And Arman is a common name in the Middle Eastern culture, and Armando,
yeah,
in the Hispanic culture, the Latino culture. So they're like, that's a perfect mixed. Arman, let's go with that. Yes. So half Latino, half Persian.
Wow.
So you're Papi Chulo.
There you go.
I'm Baba Chulo.
Baba Chulo. Baba Chulo.
Baba Chulo.
That's cool,
nice
man.
Little mix, but yeah, man. And I always want to support Latinos, so that's why I reached out, because we have to take care of each other, man.
Yeah, we do.
Right? Like you have such a strong American presence, such a strong Black presence as well. The Black movement is beautiful and it's amazing. We need to build that as well. The Latino movement here, if it weren't for us, what would America be?
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, man. So born and raised in Laredo. And then, of course, went off to college in Dallas.
Dallas.
And then tried to do the whole 9 to 5 thing after college.
Yeah.
Man, it was just never
A little rough.
Yeah, never fulfilling to me, man. Well, since I was little,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do a clothing brand. I was always in clothes. I was always wearing the funky stuff, a little bit different. And, you know, throughout life, I would always talk about it with one of my best friends, Alexander. And I'd be like, hey, man, like I have this vision and I want to move forward, but I don't know how. And he was like, I believe in you. Like, go out, do it, figure out a plan. Of course, through life, you know, it gets hard. You never have the right amount of money. You never have the right time, the right motivation, etc. Right? Which to me, now that I look at it, is all excuses.
Yeah.
If you want something, you're going to go after it. And you're going to find a way.
Yeah, you'll find a way to make sure it happens.
Exactly. So, you know, all of my 20s, working the 9 to 5. And I want to say last year, I was going through a breakup. And that's when I realized, I was like, you know what, dude? Life is too short to not be doing what I love.
Yeah.
To not be loving myself the way that we love others, right? So I was talking to my friend. Again, he was like, you know what, Arman, you've talked about this for over 15 years now. He was like, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. So if you're not going to do it, stop talking to me about it. And I was like, dang, dude. I was like, all right, well.
I mean, that's a good friend.
No. And I tell him all the time, he's a little bit, you know, he found his groove in his own profession and he's doing amazing. He's the one that has that podcast.
Oh, okay.
You know about. Yeah. So I was like, dang, dude. Like, he's always been very motivational. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, dude, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have even had that push to try it. So around May or June last year, I decided, okay, I'm going to go forward with this clothing brand. And I have the message behind it, which is, you know, overcome obstacles and use those obstacles as fuel to achieve greatness and happiness. Mm-hmm. Couldn't think of the name. I had that iPhone notes pad.
Yeah, the list.
Dude,
so many names.
Oh, dude. There was so many. I'm trying to think of some right now. But there were so many, and they were all terrible.
Yeah.
But, and then I had that one Sunday in church where they were talking about fear of faith and having that within the Lord's plans. And I was like, dude, that is perfect. I deal with that every day, and everybody deals with that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they all look different, right? Your fear's not mine. My faith's not yours, etc.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a perfect name. That's universal. And yeah, we got started last September.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good, man. And when you went to the church, did someone invite you? You went with someone or?
I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
But something about the Christian church is beautiful.
Yeah.
Non-denominational churches are also beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I think churches in general, they're beautiful in their own sense. Every different one. But I was invited by friends to go there, and I started connected with them and things like that. And that's how it came to be.
That's cool. I mean, sometimes that's what ends up happening. And I know we just talked about it right now, right? God will give you, he'll give you direction, and he led you to that gym so you can find those people, so that way you can go and find him, and he can be able to give you your answer that you've been searching for, looking for.
Exactly.
Crazy, right? It's crazy. But I mean, we went through the same thing, right? I know when I started, I kept talking about it, and I never did anything. COVID came, and I should have started when COVID did it, but I didn't do it. It wasn't until 2021, until the end of 2021, like November-ish.
Yeah.
I remember I kept talking about, I was like, man, I kept watching. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And my brothers are like, you keep saying you're going to do it, but you haven't done anything. Like, you haven't gone to go buy anything. You haven't gone to go get anything. So it was like from one day to the next. I remember I was sitting at home, and then my wife was with her sisters, and I got up and I said, you know what? Let me go to the store and let me just go look and see. Maybe I'm gonna have to be financially to be able to get started, right? Yeah. So I know when I started, I got my MacBook Pro, and then I just got a small, like, little blue. It's called the blue microphone. Mm-hmm. Started off with that. I recorded my first 3 episodes in like 2 hours. Then I kept them. Didn't do anything.
Let's go. I mean, regardless.
Didn't do anything, right? And I kept listening to them. And when I first started, like, I was like, let me re-record it. I messed up. Like, I said this or I said that. No. Let me re-record it. Let me do this. Let me say that. And then the beginning of December, that's when I put my first 2 out. And then people from my church too were like, bro, we didn't even know you were going to do that. I said, yeah, I should have done it in November. I should have done it in 2020. I go, but now I'm starting now. So I did that. And then once I started working and bringing, it wasn't until I brought a friend of mine from the church. His name is Miguel. And then that was like my answer as to what the podcast was going to be a sense of. Yeah. Because I was more or less doing like, hey guys, did you see this video? Or let me tell you about this story that was on the news about some so-and-so. Check out this TikTok video. That's what I was doing at first. Yeah. It wasn't until my friend came and we didn't have much to talk about. We were just talking about different things. We talked about situations because I'm a drummer at my church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a drummer at my church.
That is
so
awesome.
What we do is like we have click tracks. We do all that stuff. Yeah. So we talked about that, like situations that we've gone through that people have never heard musicians go through. Like, hey, yeah, when you're there, one ear comes this way, and then you got to worry about this. You got to worry about the mix. We started talking like that, and then we started talking about different things within our lives. And then before you knew it, it was like an hour. And it's like, and I had all these notes. And once that happened, still to this day, like that's the most listened to episode because that was like the start of what I'm doing now. Like,
but it's because that's the organic side of it. If you're starting to notice like on social media and things like that, that's the reason why TikTok blew up, because those were clips and videos that were organic and they were unfiltered.
Exactly.
It wasn't like there was any production behind it.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that do the best.
Yeah, they're the ones that do the best. Exactly. Yeah. So once I started to get that, then I started to get more guests. But I was like, okay, I can't do this in my house anymore because we're just doing it there in the couch. That's where all my guests are coming in. I had a comedian, Cleto Rodriguez. He came to my house and we did everything. We had some hiccups there. He fell asleep. He was waiting. You know, my brother had to come to the house.
Wait, is this on video?
No, we don't have it on video. I have a picture. I have a picture that I'm gonna release here soon of Cleto when he was waiting, like he was asleep, waiting for the new wire to come. But all those things, you know, I treasure those things, right? Because they made me who I am today and helped me along the way to help me during my podcast time. Yeah. But then whenever I went to go visit a friend of mine at a coffee shop, this coffee shop does not exist anymore. Now it's in Utah. It was called Café Azteca. And it was like in the middle of downtown. Okay. And a friend had told me, hey, bro, go try this coffee out or whatever it is. Okay. So I showed up over there and the area was like beautiful. It had nice seating. Like it had like a nice view. And I went there like 2 times. And then I said, man, you know what? That would be cool if I can maybe do a podcast here. Maybe I can do something here. I was like, yeah, probably not. And one of my friends who's huge on TikTok right now, he's huge on social media, which is Joe Chancla Academy. He the Chancla, yeah, man. The Chancla man. He talked to him and he's like, hey man, have you seen my friend's podcast? And he's like, no, I haven't seen it. And he goes, oh, check him out or whatever it is. And he goes, oh, you doing that at your house? I was like, yeah, I'm doing that at my house. And then he goes, man, dude, how would you feel you do it here? Like, I didn't ask him. Yeah. Like, this was like my mind. I was already set. Like, I was going to ask, but I never did. And I was like, well, we'll figure that out. He goes, nah, bro, don't worry about it. Like, just come in. It'll give me a little bit more attention to come into the shop, you know. Yeah. People can sit in and they can do their work. They can read a book in that area, whatever it is. So it wasn't until like maybe like 5 or 6 episodes in while I was doing that, we would record on Friday nights. And it was getting to the point where people were waiting, like, so there's like a distillery next door, right? It's like a winery and stuff like that. So those people would come in from there, walk in the back, and sometimes they would just sit there.
And just watch? Isn't that nerve-wracking?
Yeah.
Dude.
And that was the first time for me. Like, they would just sit there and wait. Then it got to the point to where sometimes I couldn't record. I had to work or do something. And then he would text me like, hey, bro, they were asking like, hey, what happened to that guy? He didn't come today. And he's like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, we came at this time because he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm not too sure. And then it got to the point to where it was getting to where I was noticing the podcast was not becoming something that I thought it was going to become. Mm-hmm. So it was, for me, it was going to be something to do fun, like with friends or whatever it is. And then it started to become something more. So then I had to kind of take a break because it was like a lot. Like I was there like almost every Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday. So I was like, man, this is like a job. Like I gotta.
Because that's what it turns into.
That's what it turns into. Yeah. So I took some time off. I took like 3 months. If you want to say, some people are like, dude, you took too long. And I'm like, it's just because I needed to take some time and think like, okay, God, is this what you want me to do or not?
Yeah. And sometimes we need that.
And
just take a step back.
And I'm being serious. Like some people, like they don't know that. Like, and I'm saying it right now. Like I had to take the time and I had to ask God, like, is this something you want me to do, or am I just doing it out of my own goodwill?
Yeah, 100%.
What do you want me to do? And I remember the first month I didn't hear nothing, so I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm not gonna do anything. Second month, I kept praying about it every day in the morning before I go to bed, because I love doing this, right? So I said, I'm gonna pray about it until I hear an answer. And then it wasn't until we had where my pastor, Pastor Jonathan, was talking about how sometimes we are asking God for certain things. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. How are you asking God for certain things and you think you can't hear him when he's already giving you the answer in front of you, and you have yet to be, you're so blinded you haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah. So
I was like, okay. So I said, maybe that's for me. Maybe. I don't know. So I remember I was praying there at church, and I told God, look, God, if this is what you want me to do, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm thinking you didn't answer me because you're like, yeah, I want you to do it. So I'm not going to answer you. I don't have to answer you. Like, I've let you do so many episodes. That should be your answer. Mm-hmm. So that's the way my mind started to think. So I said, okay, perfect. And during that time, while I was praying and my mind was already fixated on that and turned over, literally something within me like told me, remind my people that I love them. That's all I want you to do.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, all right then. So we reamped everything. I changed the logo.
It's a beautiful logo, by the way.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Changed the logo. And then it started to go full circle. I started giving my brothers like, hey, look, I'm going to come back, but I don't want to do it there. I'm going to try to see if I can get a studio. Okay. But look, try to look at these places, whatever. We started looking, and doors just started opening like left and right.
Isn't it crazy how that works, though?
Crazy.
Because if you think about it, you were looking for a sign, right, from God to let you know, is this the right move for me? But don't you think that the vision that you had for this podcast and the love that you had for what you were doing was already the sign that you needed?
Exactly.
Don't you? Because that's the way that I thought about it. Because I, of course, thought the same thing. I was like, I need a sign, right? But I've had this vision and this love for 15 years, and it never died. It never went away. That fire never dimmed.
And we forget who's the one who placed it in your heart to begin with.
It's God. God gave you that vision, right? Yeah. And what he wants you to do is carry it out, especially if it's with a positive message.
Yes, exactly.
Right? If you're trying to help people out, yes, no. I don't know if you're trying to do some weird stuff. I mean,
I get that. And that's the thing too. Yeah. But, that's the thing.
And even like the people, if you think about it, the people piling up to go see you record this, that was also a sign from him already telling you that you're already touching people's lives in a positive manner.
Yeah.
So it's funny enough that you still had those different signs, but you're still like, okay, I need to take another step back to kind of figure it out. And sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
Because for us, it doesn't click. I mean, we're human.
Yeah, we're human. Yeah. I had to take that time, and then, doors started opening up. And I remember a couple of episodes I came back, or I was already going to come back. I think it was like a month before I come back. And I was like, I want to come up with a slogan like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's what I grew up on, right? Like, hey guys, kids, at the very end, he closes the door and he says his thing and everyone repeats it, right?
Yeah.
So I said, man, what can I say, right? And I said, you know what? I'm going to just tell people, I'm going to take some time. Even after I took some time to talk about God, I still want to say something about him, or to my guests, or to the people listening.
Yeah.
And I remember I was telling my brothers, I'm just going to tell the people like God loves you. And they're like, okay, well, why don't you say it in Spanish? Because you do Tex-Mex. How come you don't say both?
Yeah.
Hey, God loves you. Dios Te Ama. I was like, I think that'll work. I think it'll work.
Yeah.
And ever since then, without, I'm saying it right now, so anyone that's listening, everyone that's going to watch, I've had so many people that I've had on, and so many people that have listened that have messaged me and told me, thank you for reminding me that he loves me, because I thought because of what I've been doing or what I've done or how far I've gone, he didn't love me anymore.
And you know, we get to that point sometimes. I've gotten to that point where I'm like, and I've questioned it. The one thing with this brand and what I'm doing is I'm always going to be very vulnerable and open to the struggles that I've gone through, right? But I've gotten to that point where there was nights where I laid awake, and I don't say this to people, but I laid awake crying, just being like, God, like, why do you hate me?
Yeah.
Why aren't you, like, you know, you see all these other people that are doing terrible things and they're getting money, they're getting fame. They got the vieja, they got the vato, whatever you're into, right? And you're like, why do you hate me? I don't feel loved. I don't feel success. And you don't feel loved at times. So sometimes we do need to be reminded he does love you. He's just taking you through, you know, the valleys before you get to the mountaintop, because there's certain things you need to grow through and learn in order to reach that level that he wants you to reach.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I take the time to talk to my guests and tell everybody, even people listening, and they know, is that I encourage them to follow Christ. Like, place him first, follow him. Like, I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not easy. And that's why a lot of people don't do it, because it's not easy, because you have to push away those things that you like right now. You have to push those away. And you have, I mean, it's an old song. You already decided to follow Jesus. There's no turning back. No turning back, meaning, you don't turn back to what you were doing before that God called you out of. Now he's calling you to do something else and calling you to move forward. Follow me. I don't want you to be in those fleshly, sinful, physical desires anymore. I want you to come and do my work. I want you to come and do this, right? I mean, it happens, bro. And I'm glad it did happen to me, because we revamped. We did everything different. And since then, you know, we've had some amazing guests that I would have never imagined, you know, having on here. You know, we had Concrete.
Dude, Chingo Bling.
Chingo Bling.
I listened to that this week, man, and I grew up on that guy.
Yeah.
Chingo Blingo with the big...
Dude, he's... And it's crazy, man, that I got reached out to these people, and people reached out to me, and we're able to collab and do things like that. But I don't take it for granted, because I'm seeing that God's giving me these people to... Okay, I'm giving you these guests. Yeah, it's cool. You got him, but do what I told you to do. Like, remind them that I love them, because you come in, anybody can come in. All my guests come in smiling, ready to go. But how do I know that you didn't just go through something? How do I know that you're not going through something? Just by me taking the time to talk about God and taking that time to remind you that he loves you will reflect something in your life, to where you're like, you know what, man? I'm going through that, or you've been praying about it, or I didn't even know how to go about it, man, because it's weird to me how sometimes God gives me these guests and how I meet new people. But at the same time, I'm glad he does, because I'm able to spread the gospel in the way that I do, and telling them about him, reminding them that he loves them. And without me knowing, they can go home and be like, okay, thank you, God. I hear you.
Yeah.
Like, you answered me. Like, it can be just as simple as that. And that's what I'm here to do. Like, that's the goal. Yeah, we're here to have a good time. That's what I tell people. We're here to have a good time. 100%. God made me funny. Okay. Laughter is the gift from the Lord. It's not a sin to laugh. Okay. It's not a sin. So
it's beautiful to smile.
It's beautiful to smile. It's beautiful to laugh. God made me a very enthusiastic person, a very humorous person. And I said, God, okay, can I intertwine that with here? Okay, you can be humorous. You can do all that. But I still want you to do this. Yeah. I need you to do that. And I'm super glad that I've been able to reach out to so many people, and people have enjoyed it, and people are enjoying it right now. And I mean, it's God's work. Like, I know my friends, it's God's work, baby. That's all it is, you know?
And that's what it's all about. It's all about creating something that is going to touch the lives of many, because you're right. We all do go through things, and we feel alone at times. That is where a lot of that motivation for me came from. Is there were a lot of times in my life where I felt alone. Even in a room full of people that knew me, that loved me, I still felt alone. Yeah. Right? So for Fear of Faith, the biggest thing that I want to create is a community of people that always make sure that the next person is never alone. And to always make sure that they know that they're loved. Yeah. And that they care for one another.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Because, I mean, like you said, you get out of here, you know, we come in all smiles, all laughter. And a lot of my life, I hid my pain behind laughter, behind being the life of the party, behind being social. And in the moment, you know, it fixes it in a sense. But once you go back home and you're by yourself, you can't run away from that.
Yeah, there's no running away from it.
No, not at all. So that's one of the biggest things, is you always have to make sure that you're telling yourself that you love yourself. There's always someone that loves you.
Yeah.
Whether that's you, whether that's God, even if nobody outside of that loves you, that's all that matters.
Yep.
At the end of the day. And if you can love yourself, you can love Christ, you can love anybody.
Yeah, exactly, man. So we're going to go in a short commercial break. We're going to come back, and we'll be back with Mr. Arman. ¿Cómo dice? El Bobo Papi. ¿Cómo dice?
El Baba Chulo.
Baba Chulo. We'll be back with El Baba Chulo right after this short commercial break.
What's up, San Antonio? Are you needing to get your bookkeeping and your tax services done? Then head on over to JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services. You can find JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services on Facebook and on Instagram. So now, it's tax season, baby. So make sure that you head on over to JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services. Don't head on over to La Vecina, who's only got one eye, y la pata chueca, and she can't even remember her own name. She's gonna remember your name to do your taxes. So guys, please head on over to JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services. They are located at 4702 West Avenue, number 8, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78213. You can call them up at 210-816-0357. Again, JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services, an official sponsor for DeLoco podcast.
Yeah, I know I talked about it last episode as well. So, you know, the month of June being men's mental health time, right? You want to say, right? Because we just talked about it. Everybody goes through it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people, men especially, we just talked about it. We have a lot of machismo. We don't say anything. We're going through something. So, guys, this is the month of June, which is Mental Health Month. And if you need any help, you know what I mean? You need to seek the help. That's something that
1,000%.
Yeah, man. That's something that I actually wanted to do. So on my website, I have it to where it'll have the verse of the day. It's got my merch on there, and then it also has a page where it'll take you to where you can call the lifeline. Like if you need to.
I think that would be awesome, dude. Because
you need that.
I think when it comes to men, it's not only the fact that they're scared to admit that they're going through stuff, but they don't know how to seek help.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, it's uncomfortable. Like we were talking about it before. You know, I've dealt with mental health issues all of my life. I was at the age of 14, 15, maybe. I was diagnosed with depression. At that young of an age, when they told me that, I was like, you're full of it. That is, what is that? And they gave me pills and things like that to take, and I didn't take them. So I was like, no, I'm not going to. Like, there's a better way to deal with this than, and this was triggered through, you know, different things that I saw going on with my family, you know, different circumstances, and we won't get into that. But for the longest time, I always felt I can do it alone.
Yeah.
I can do it alone, and I don't need any help. And eventually it came to, you know, a big moment where I was like, I need help. Like, I definitely need help, and I'm going to go seek it. Best decision I've ever made. Shout out Mike, my therapist. He's awesome. Shout out.
We need it, dude. I mean,
no,
we all need it. And I know we've talked about it before, right? So, and I've talked it with many people before. Even with my pastor. My pastor used to be, you know, counselor.
Yeah.
In that, and he still does that. Even though he's the lead pastor, we talk about it all the time. Not only do you need spiritual guidance, but you need that. There's people. God has placed people here to be able to know how to talk to those people and handle those situations.
Yeah. Well, even think about it like this. Even if you're not dealing with anything very crucial.
Yeah.
Life is so difficult that we don't know how to navigate
Yeah.
a lot of emotions, a lot of things. And these are licensed professionals that know how to handle the psychological side of life.
Yeah.
And what we go through. So it's good, even if you don't. I had this conversation with one of my friends the other day because he was like, hey, Arman, like, how have you liked your therapist? I've seen such a difference. Like, I see a lot of that heaviness taken away from you.
Yeah.
Like, you seem so much happier and in a genuine way. And this is my best friend since I was 4 years old. So he's seen me good, bad, everything. And he was like, I want to go see someone. He was like, nothing is particularly wrong, but I think it'd be good. Like, there's so much going on, and I just kind of want to ask some things, kind of have a little bit of guidance. And I was like, dude, that is great, dude. Go ahead. I recommended him over to my therapist. And I was like, dude, go talk to someone, even if you don't need it. I told him the biggest therapy sessions I've ever had is when I went in and didn't have anything to talk about. Like, I was like, dude, I have nothing for you today. And then we just kind of go into either past experiences or even certain practices when we're going through these hard times, because one thing that I learned in therapy is a lot of our emotions for us men, I don't know about women, it could be the same thing. It comes from our belly. So it's like the belly of the beast. Yeah. Right. So how do you control that? And we've done a lot of practices where we have to connect the belly to the heart. And it's just like, it gets intense. Yeah. Like it really does. But in those cases, it's very good for when you start feeling that. Because when you get angry and you start feeling a certain way, you feel it. Oh, yeah. Like you feel it in your body. And it's, how do you control that?
You all right, Camila?
She's just trying to party, man.
I know. She's over there eating chocolate. Whatever she's eating. But no, yeah, man. I mean, you are right? I mean, sometimes we have to admit to ourselves that we need it because like I said, some of us do face that. Like we mentally, yeah. I know we say, right, you have a brain fart, I'm going through it or whatever it is, right? I say that all the time. It's more than that, right? Because sometimes what ends up happening is we have so much in life going on, so much going on within ourselves. Yeah. Your mind starts to fog up and you're just like, you're like, I don't even know how to, now you start to get anxiety. Now you start to, bro, it starts to lead to all those things.
Well, dude, because life is very hard. Think about everything we have to go through. For one, we have to find love. Yeah. Right? You get rejected day in, day out. Right? Until you find that woman or man of your dreams, business or professionally. You're going to get rejected from interviews, from jobs. You're going to get rejected even when you start your own business. There's going to be a lot of people that don't like your stuff. You get your butt kicked. Oh, yeah. Every which way from everything. Yeah. Right? Health, etc., man. So when life does get tough, it compiles onto you mentally and emotionally, and you need someone to kind of talk to through all of that stuff. And that's one thing that I do want to spread with the platform and with the brand and everything that I have going on is for the youth, especially the men, and even for the grown men that haven't taken that route yet. I want them to be comfortable to say something is wrong. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. Nothing at all. It doesn't make you any weaker of a man. No. The vieja's not going to hate you. She's not going to think that you're not masculine.
Masculine enough, yeah.
You know what? Being vulnerable is masculine. Yeah, it is. Being in touch with your emotions and knowing how you feel and being like, you know what? Something's wrong today. I'm going to fix it. That is masculinity in its finest. So that's what I want to push. And I want to be, maybe we can do something one day too, where we push some kind of like mental health event for men.
Yeah, for sure, man. We can do that. So guys, if you guys are going through anything, remember, a friend or whatever it is, it's Mental Health Month for men. Make sure you take care of that friend. Be a good friend and help them out. Even if they reject you or get angry with you, whatever it is, you're doing the friend thing. And eventually they're going to thank you for that. And if you're going through it, you're listening right now, call somebody that there's help out there that can help you out. And more importantly, call out to Christ. Call him out. He can help you out. We all need that spiritual guidance, and he will help you during that time. But as well as, just as you need to go to the doctor when you're sick, God put those people to get those degrees. God put these people here to know how to handle your situations. Exactly. So don't be scared. Ponte las pilas and just go do it. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid.
DM me.
There you go.
I'm here, man.
There you go.
I'm never too good. I'm never too busy to help anybody.
There you go.
Anything you ever need. And just remember to tell people that you love them, man. Yeah. Regardless, your boys, your brothers, your parents, anybody. Tell them that you love them because, like you said earlier, sometimes we don't hear it.
No, we don't hear it.
We don't.
Yeah.
I tell everybody I love them. I always do. Whether you're my friend, whatever the case is, I say I love you. Yeah. Because you never know if someone heard that day. Yeah. Right? That's right. So.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's good. Yeah. You're ever going through anything, seek help, DM us. We're always here to help, man. Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Hey, man. So I know right now you were showing us some new merch that's gonna come out the end of July. So it looks pretty sick.
Thank you.
But speaking of which, I know you say you're from Austin, Texas.
Live there,
right?
Yeah.
You live there.
Just moved there, actually.
But I don't know. Would you prefer to live there or here?
I actually had this conversation last night too.
Yeah?
I have a lot of conversations about stuff, as you can tell. I'm very, very in touch with my friends. I'm very honest. So I lived here for a little bit.
Okay.
I did love San Antonio, but I think right now, for the moment and the things that I'm going through, I think Austin is the best place.
Austin's your house.
Exactly. Because right now, I'm building up a fashion brand, right? I want to be surrounded by creatives, by people that are a little bit more artsy, more entrepreneurial in spirit. So I think Austin is the perfect place.
Yeah.
Like one of my friend was like, why don't you come out to LA? And I was like, I would, but it's a little expensive for all of that,
it's
man.
expensive
Like,
right now, dude.
I'm going to pay $3,400 for, for something so small.
Yeah.
When I can get it for cheaper out here. Because their bills pile up, especially being your own boss, right? But San Antonio is a beautiful. I'm a Spurs fan.
There you go. There you go.
Through. Almost Spurs.
Yeah, you go.
But San Antonio is beautiful. I think it has an amazing school system.
Mm-hmm.
So many things to do for kids. It's a safe area, right? So I think
some areas.
Some areas, all right. But some areas. No, you're right. But that's within every city.
Yeah,
man.
it's within every city, dude.
But within the general side of things, San Antonio is a great place to be. I have not ruled it out to raise a family here.
There you go.
So I do love San Antonio. San Antonio has always been and will always be in my heart.
Okay, perfect. All right. So without you knowing, I created kind of a little segment called "Would You Rather."
Oh God.
So we're gonna see what you would rather do.
Dang, man.
All right. So there's no right or wrong answer, right? We're gonna see what you rather do, right?
All right.
These are very complex. They're not they're not complicated. I'm not gonna ask you who wrote the Declaration of Independence. Ain't gonna be that, because if you ask me that, I don't know.
Theo Hoover did.
I already forgot.
For Chingo Bling, Theo Hoover.
I know Theo Hoover,
Declaration.
right? So first one would be very simple. Would you rather stay up late or sleeping late?
Sleeping late.
Sleeping late?
Yeah, 100%.
What's the sleeping late time for you? If you could sleep in.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wake up at 4:30 every day. Not on weekends. Weekends are when I sleep in late.
Yeah.
So sleeping late for me is 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
That's the latest I can absolutely go. Sometimes things happen. You get sick. 8, 9, right? But 7 a.m. is my sleeping time.
Yeah, that's I'm about the same, right? Usually on the weekends I like to sleep in 7, 8 o'clock, the latest.
Yeah. Get a little bit of rest, right?
Yeah,
Recharge.
a little bit. Yeah, a little
we're always
bit.
on the go.
Yeah, we're always on the go.
Yeah.
My dad, man, used to be waking up early, dude. And when we used to live with him, man, be like 7 o'clock. Mátanse, vámonos, let's go. Where are we going? Don't worry about it, let's go. I was like, get dressed.
No, it's true. And you know what? Now you see your parents and they're waking up.
Yeah, they're waking up all late and everything.
No, I call my parents sometimes. I call my parents sometimes like in the mornings, like at 9 or something. And I'm like, gases. And they're like, oh, well, I'm just still waking up. And I'm like, barely?
I know.
Dude, I've been up for 5 hours now. Like
they did that, and then it's like in you now.
Yeah.
And then you turn around, they're like sleeping in. What you want?
Yeah, exactly. They get mad at me. I'm like, what are you getting mad at me for?
Oh man. Okay, so I don't know. In Austin, do y'all have? I don't know how it is, but have you ever had Bill Miller's before?
Yeah. So my mom used to take me to Bill Miller's.
Really?
Growing up. Yeah, because being from Laredo, San Antonio to us was like the Mecca. Right? Like this is the big city.
Yeah, this is like
so like dude, growing up, she would bring us we would stay at the Embassy Suites right next to, remember the Malibu go-karts?
Oh, Malibu go-karts, dude.
That was like my Disneyland.
Oh man.
Growing up, I loved Malibu.
Dang, dude.
I'm so sad.
That's
whenever I
crazy
pass
they
by.
tore it down, dude.
Dude, I'm so sad.
They
Every time I
didn't
pass
even
by.
do anything.
No, it's still there. It's just an empty.
And you can still see the road pavement where the go-karts used to go through.
I've actually passed by it before, and I was like, that would be an amazing place to go do a photo shoot.
Yeah, it would be.
Like kind of like a street
style. Yeah, dude.
That would be so awesome. But dude, that was my place. So yes, Bill Miller's. I remember we would always get those the brisket sandwiches.
So you've had their sweet tea, right?
I'm not a sweet tea fan.
No?
Yes, I have tried it, but I'm not a sweet tea fan
No.
by any means, man. No.
So then this should be pretty easy. Would you rather have a Bill Miller sweet tea or an agua fresca de sandía?
Agua fresca, man.
Right?
Dude, come on. Latinos, stand up, bro. Come on now. If you're Latino and you like sweet tea over agua fresca.
Dude, especially today, bro. It's hot.
Oh, dude.
It's hot, dude.
But agua de Jamaica over anything.
Oh, man. Agua de Jamaica is really good, dude.
We used to make it homemade. Nothing will ever beat that. Nothing. But
Okay, perfect. Now, this one here, it's kind of weird, right? But would you rather spend the day by yourself on a small mini vacation or spend the entire day at the beach with your family? Would you rather take a small getaway by yourself or go to the beach with your family?
so I think right now I'm going to say the small getaway by myself.
There you go.
Because I've never done that. And this is actually something that I've been talking about with my therapist. I think it'd be good for me to get out, go on a small little getaway for myself and just find inspiration.
Yeah.
Work from a beautiful setting.
Do you have like
take some time.
in mind like where you want to?
Not a particular place, but I love water. So like the beach right now that you said that, that's all I was like,
There you go.
it's hard. Anything with water.
Anything with water.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a margarita.
Downtown right here, the Marriott, they have a swimming pool on the top row.
Oh, was Ramos?
It's water.
That's water. Nah, we're talking about like ocean, man. Like,
All right, man, no problem. Okay, so next one here. Would you rather, for an entire day, watch a rerun 16 times of Nacho Libre or rewatch the Twilight Saga for 5 hours? Which one would you rather do?
Nacho Libre, man.
Nacho Libre all day, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'd rather laugh.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
I don't care how many times you watch that movie. It's funny every time.
I haven't seen it enough. I'm gonna be honest.
Dude,
with you. I've
it's-
probably seen it twice, two or three times.
That movie is hilarious. I know there's some people when it first came out, they're like, man, that's so stupid. It's so dumb. Like
that's
it's
the
so,
whole point.
That's the whole point of it. And what's crazy to me is that movie still gets a bunch of references still to this
yeah.
day right now. I mean, look, Nacho's mask is right there. I mean,
Dude, I love it.
dude, there's no way. I mean, we grew up on that. We used to watch it for Easter.
Why can't we just ever have a salad or something?
Yeah, dude. That movie for sure. That's gonna be a all-time favorite for sure.
Oh yeah, no, dude, I need to watch it more.
Right?
Honestly, and that's the thing. Yes, it's stupid, but that's the whole point of comedy. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of the times, some of my friends are like, they're watching like an action movie, and they're like, "That would never happen in real life." Well, see, Wayne.
Yeah.
It's meant to be fiction, bro.
Hello.
Like that's
Why it's called a movie.
Exactly. They talk about Fast and the Furious and that. That's
Oh,
where they're
God.
like, a car wouldn't fly into space. That's the point.
That's the point of it.
What
It's a
you
movie.
want? You want real life to like be depicted in movies? That's not real. That'd be boring.
All right, man. So it says right here next. What? Let me see. Okay, perfect. Would you rather eat a giant donut or would you eat a dozen of tamales? Because I know you say you like to be physically active, which I like doing that too. And I like to have my day of just eating what I want sometimes.
Indulgence.
Yeah. So would you rather eat donuts? It could be a giant donut or maybe a dozen of donuts or a dozen of tamales.
I'm gonna go donut because tamales, they have to come from a good place.
Yeah.
Some people make bad tamales, bro.
Oh, man.
Let's be honest. Like homemade tamales,
They have
that's
more
a good-
masa than the meat, you know?
Yes, exactly. And
My suegra, she makes the best tamales, man.
does she?
Yeah, and they actually sell them, so they always do that. They're like year round. They have like this little thing with Rios Barbacoa, who's a huge barbacoa place in San Antonio.
Yeah.
So they have this little thing with them. But me, honestly, the tamales, I have to wait till it's our time, dude. The Latino Power time is during November, December. That's
See?
our time, dude.
So that's another thing.
Yeah.
It's like, is it the right time?
Yeah, that's.
It's like menudo season.
Yeah, there you go, menudo season, dude. I mean, who's gonna want to go outside right now in this 100 and something degrees and want, hey man, let me get some tamales, big dog? No,
You're not in your right mind.
no, you know,
No way.
You don't want to do that, especially those that think ketchup goes with it.
We have one friend.
Ah,
We have-
dude,
we have
come
that
on.
And you know what? He's probably gonna watch this, and he's gonna know who it is, and everybody else is too. We have that one friend that puts ketchup on huevos, tamales. Dude. He'll put it on cereal if he could.
Jesus, I can't do that, dude.
Nah, ketchup is kind of like, to me, ketchup is the bottom of the barrel condiment right next to mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, yeah.
Yeah, there's so much better that you can put on stuff.
Salsa, you can do. I mean,
oh, dude, I throw salsa on everything, dude.
Something other than ketchup. Come on.
Why, dude? It's too thick. Nothing wrong with being too
thick.
Ketchup
goes on fries, guys. Fries.
Even then, no. Like,
you don't like ketchup on your fries? Or
sometimes, because like, let's say you're going to Whataburger. Creamy pepper sauce all day.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't want ketchup.
There you go.
Spicy ketchup sometimes, but the regular one,
nah. Spicy ketchup, I'll choose that all day. Okay,
too
perfect. Basic. So you're gonna choose donuts.
Donuts for now.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. Okay, perfect. Next, and this will be the last one. Would you rather spend the day? Would you rather spend the day in the San Antonio 115-degree weather, or would you rather go to Alaska and freeze your butt off?
Never, ever Alaska. Ever. Dude, me and the cold weather don't mix by any means.
Yeah.
Like, I have friends that live in Chicago, and I'm like, dude, I can't go visit you in the wintertime. Like, at all. I hate bundling up.
Yeah.
That's one. Freezing hurts, dude.
Oh, yeah,
like,
dude.
At least in the heat, yeah, you're sweating, but so is the person next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, todos están sudando.
Yeah.
And worst case, jump in a pool.
Yeah, jump in the pool.
Yeah.
Cool off, dude.
Yeah. Or go inside.
Yeah.
There's some AC. In Alaska, you're never going to escape that.
No,
that is my own personal hell.
So you rather prefer the hot weather than the cold weather?
1,000%. Well, think about it. We come from...
I mean, this is everyday life for us. I mean, we really don't get cold weather here in Texas. No. I mean, it does get cold sometimes, but not to the point to where other states are like, man, they got the chamarra on, they got the scarf on, they got the beanie on.
Dude, but anything under 60, like, for example, for me, I'm freezing.
Yeah, everybody here freezes because we're not used to that.
No, not at all. Like, anything below 60, I'm like, dude, no, I'm not leaving the house. Like, that's when I start bundling up.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
When it started hitting, like, the 30s and stuff, or when it started snowing, what was it, like, last year? No, dude.
Yeah, no.
Hated it.
That's a big no for me.
Yeah, same.
I'd rather sweat. I'd rather sweat a little bit.
Me too.
I know you're out there sweating and... You know, you're doing it. I told the last guy, I said, man, the other day I was outside. I was like, man, dude, it smells like beans. I was like, oh, man, it's just me. I'm just burning up. It's just me. I'm just burning
a hot
up.
frijol.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just burning up.
Dude, no, last night we were at, a friend of mine and I were at a restaurant, dude, and there was like no ventilation. It's like an older house.
Yeah.
Dude, and both of us, I was telling her, I was like, dude, I'm sweating right now. Like, oh, and that made me drink my margarita even faster.
Let me tell you, dude, when it comes to places that if there's no AC in there, and for me to eat comfortable, I need to have some AC blowing. Like, I cannot eat if it's hot, bro. Like, it's so weird. But here in Texas, like, if the conditions around you are not good enough, the meal's like, it can be the best burger that they told you, like, man, that's the best burger right there in that restaurant.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be if the temperature's not right. No,
dude, not at all, dude. And you're right. The environment creates that experience also,
big time, dude.
So if it's bad environment, that burger is gonna taste terrible.
Big time, dude.
Like you said, you don't want anything. You don't want something that's hot while it's hot.
No. You don't want that. So, man, I don't know if you got something, if you want to put in your plug-in, where people can find you, where people can order some merch, and then what you got coming up for the rest of this year.
Yeah, man. So, for one, I'll kind of start off with our Instagram. So, follow us on Fear or Faith Co. on Instagram, or follow me, Arman Khaledi 56. I'll provide the spelling for you.
There you go.
My last name is very hard to spell. And then, please cop some merch. Right now, we're doing, if it's your first purchase, we're giving you 15% off. And anything over $75, you get free shipping. So go to fearfaithco.com, get you some gear. It's very comfy, fashionable, has a great message.
There you go.
Always has a great message. And you'll see it right now whenever
I
show you that.
Yeah, shout out to Arman. He got us some merch out here, so you'll probably see us wearing that in the next episode or other episodes. We'll wear that, rep that out, man.
Gotta help my boys out.
There you go, man. I appreciate that.
And yeah, man. I mean, right now we are growing quickly.
Okay.
So we have a lot of awesome stuff on the website, but like like you heard.
Yeah,
We're
what
gonna
I
release
just saw, yeah.
We're going to release some awesome stuff in July. It's going to be a little twist on what we've already done.
Okay.
So now that we're going into the winter time and, the later part of the year, we're going to start experimenting with different styles of clothes.
Nice.
And then we got a big show coming up at the end of the year for Art Basel.
Nice.
So we're going to start preparing for that. So, follow along on both of our pages. You want to kind of see the behind the scenes, follow my personal one. You want to see more of the clothing side? Go ahead and follow that brand, man. But yeah, I appreciate you for having me, dude.
Yeah,
It's
bro,
been
of course, man. I appreciate you coming in and sharing your story and sharing more about you, finding out about you. And we got to stick together, dude. Everybody's got to stick to one another.
That's right.
And I love the message that you have that you're sharing with everybody, for everybody to wear and to rep. And that's why I want to rep it and wear it at least one episode, because to somebody it can mean something.
Exactly.
And that's why I tell people, like, on every piece of merch, I try to put a verse, or I try to continue to put, the God loves you, Dios Te Ama. So when somebody sees me wearing my stuff and they read it, they'll be reminded of that God loves them.
Yeah.
And that He's for them.
And that's what we do on our merch. And that's one thing I want to do. Like those hats that I brought for, the wives and the girlfriends.
Yeah.
And on the side, it says love yourself. And the reason I created that was because, for one, when you're wearing it, you look in the mirror, you're having a bad day. It's a constant reminder to love who you are. Or if you're at a coffee shop or a restaurant and someone's having a bad day and they look at your hat.
Yeah, man.
So any little thing that I can do to put some kind of positive message out there or energy or change someone's day. Yeah. That's what I want to do.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming from Austin, Texas.
Always, man.
You're going to have to, we're recording on a Saturday. So by the time you guys listen to it, it'll be Friday, que es el 28 of June. So I appreciate you again, man, for coming. Shout out to everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in and sticking around. And guys, this is just a friendly reminder, is to seek God. Seek after Him, place Him first, and everything else will come after. It is not an easy road, but it becomes a better one, and God can help you spiritually speaking, and He can help you with your situations that you're facing. So guys, remember, God loves you. Dios te ama. Dios te ama a ti, mi hermano. He loves you very much, and I know that you know that.
Yes,
and
right.
We will see you on the next episode number 62. You guys are going to want to make sure you tune in for that, but make sure you tune into this episode number 61. We'll see you on the very next episode.
Estás escuchando DeLoco Podcast.
Local podcast.